The Premier League has been around since 1992, with 20 clubs in a division each year, each with 2 transfer windows and more cash to throw around than Mr. McMahon does on NDAs. That means that over the years there have been 5 boatloads of players being transferred to and from clubs like your overdraft does between multiple bank accounts when you're doing the shopping. Some players live long in the memory and forge their path through the English landscape in some form or another, and a lot go unrecognised and forgotten, like a revision you've done for a test the night before. There have been thousands of Premier League transfers over the years, and it's time to look at some of the ones who have been forgotten, if not by everyone, then by a majority of fans. This isn't a top 10 list because I haven't got time for that, let's be honest, there's too many people to count. This is simply 10 players who will bring back memories, whether they be good or bad, when you hear their name. Welcome to Good Sport Reviews. My name is Lewis, and this is 10 players you forgot played in the Premier League. And we don't want to forget you around here, so please make sure to click the subscribe button and you will go down as a club legend here on the channel. Number 10, Emanuel Emenike, the man who, let's face it, he's most well known from a KSI clip in 2012, did make the jump to the Premier League in 2016 when he joined West Ham on loan from Fenerbahce at a time when the Irons had limited forward options and needed more depth. A player with frightening pace and physical strength that would make Mr. T look like a bitch, Emenike just couldn't get his form together and netted only 2 goals during his ill-fated spell with the London side, both of which coming in the FA Cup against Blackburn Rovers in February of 2016. The side didn't make the move permanent and he was sent back to the Turkish side, with neither him nor West Ham better for the experience. Number 9, Roberto Mancini. Butter in a hot pan lasts longer than Mancini did in England, and that may be a big reason why many people forget this transfer actually happened. Back in 2001, the man who would go on to win the Premier League with Manchester City and the Euros of Italy once joined Leicester at the age of 36. He made his debut against Arsenal, but he only went on to make 4 more appearances for the Foxes, and he informed the club in early February via phone call that he would not be returning to England as he was offered the vacant manager's job at Fiorentina, the club he would get relegated that season and leave after only 10 months. Take that, Mancini, how dare you steal the Euros from us. But yet this was actually a transfer that happened, and because of the small timescale of the move, it's easily forgotten. Number 8, Alexandre Pato. One of the biggest what-ifs in European football, Alex Pato was a world beater during his time at AC Milan, scoring 63 goals in 150 games for the Italian Giants. He won a Serie A in the process. However, after he joined Chelsea in January of 2016, he dropped off a cliff faster than a lemming with an anvil tied to its waist. He played twice for the club and didn't make his debut until the 2nd of April, winning and scoring a penalty against Aston Villa after being fouled by Liverpool alumni Ali Sissoko, and became the 6th Brazilian to score on his debut in the Premier League. Shockingly, Chelsea decided not to make the move permanent and he went back to Corinthians following a short spell at the Blues. But in a plus side, he did do more in 2 games than Anthony did in 35 this season, and that's score a goal. Number 7, Fernando Morientes. It's the hope that kills you, and Morientes had it in spades when he joined Liverpool from Real Madrid in January 2005. The man who won league titles and Champions League with the European Giants just couldn't get things going at Anfield and went on to score only 12 goals in 61 appearances for the Reds. Not awful, but when the expectation is so high for the reality to be so low, it makes the move even more forgettable. He did score a brace against Middlesbrough in a 2-0 win and does have an FA Cup and Super Cup to his name, but the Spanish maestro just couldn't make any real impact in England and has been forgotten by many a fan. Number 6, Renato Sanches. It says a lot when the thing most remembered about a player is when he passed the ball to the advertising boards, believing it to be a player in his own team. It's true, when I see a person on my TV screen, I personally try and throw them something because I think they'll catch it. Renato Sanches is one of the so-called wonder boys of the mid-2010s. He went on loan to relegation battling Swansea City and played like he was blind. Many high-profile passing mistakes and repetitive injuries to his hamstrings led to him not playing a competitive match for the Swans after the 2nd of January until the end of the season, with manager at the time, Carlos Carvalhal, saying he stopped learning when he left Benfica and went to one of the biggest clubs in the world. Ouch. Number 5, Marco Materazzi, the man who won 5 Serie A titles and a Champions League with Inter Milan, a World Cup winner with Italy, and the man who received the most famous headbutt in history. Materazzi was an effective centre-half during his career in Italy, so what many people might forget is that the 6'4" Italian juggernaut once played for Everton back in 1998 before his famous spell with Inter happened. He featured for the Blues only 27 times following his transfer from Perugia and had more sendings off than he had goals, scoring once in the league against Middlesbrough and once against Huddersfield Town in the League Cup, but given his marching orders 3 times during his stay at the Blues, which is beyond a joke, let's be honest. He claims the last one he received for a tackle on Coventry's Darren Huckabee was a wrong decision, but it doesn't change the fact that the Italian legend was more of a dismissal machine for the Blues. Number 4, Julio Cesar. Number 4 on this list because back when Julio Cesar joined QPR in 2012, he became the 4th former Champions League winner to join the Hoops, following Djibril Cissé, who won it with Liverpool, Park Ji-sung, who won it with Manchester United, and Jose Bosingwa, who won it with Chelsea. This move stunned everyone, with the Inter Milan legend and treble winner with the club joining QPR following their promotion back into the Premier League and putting in a man of the match display against Chelsea in his first appearance for the club, keeping a clean sheet in a 0-0 draw. He went on to make 26 appearances for the club in his debut campaign, including 24 in the league where he kept 6 clean sheets before QPR were relegated back down to the Championship, where Cesar, a man who won more trophies himself than QPR have in their entire history, was frozen out of the squad before leaving for Toronto FC on loan. Number 3, Bojan. Probably a bit of a well-known one on this list, but Bojan was a player who had the world at his feet during his early career at Barcelona. The man who was labelled the next Lionel Messi had as bright of a career ahead of him as you could have wanted, so it's shocking that in 2014 he was sold by Barcelona for only 1.8 million euros and went on to play for the club for 5 years. It did consist of loans as well to Mainz and Alaves before coming back to Stoke and stinking the place out, however. He started off his time well, scoring against Tottenham and Arsenal in victories over the North London clubs and also match-winning goals over Everton and Leicester, but after this he was beyond inconsistent, and during the 16-17 campaign he only started 5 matches in 6 months, with Bojan himself and manager Mark Hughes admitting that he needed to leave the club to get regular game time. Number 2, Seydou Doumbia. Another member of the KSI Pace Brigade, Seydou Doumbia was a player who Premier League fans had wanted to see in England for years, with the CSKA Moscow goal machine finally getting the chance to show his talent here in England when he joined Newcastle on loan in February 2016. Despite Newcastle being in a relegation battle and subsequently being relegated that season after finishing in 18th place, Doumbia only made 3 appearances for the club and didn't contribute to any goals, struggling to fit into the system employed under Steve McLaren and not being in Rafa Benitez's plan when he was appointed in March of that year. He had talent, as we saw at Young Boys, CSKA Moscow and Basel, but he couldn't make it count on the Premier League stage, and he's forgotten like a lot of players on this list. And number 1, Maicon, another Italian legend for the smouldering ruin of the Premier League. Maicon, the man who scored one of the greatest ever World Cup goals, joined Manchester City in August 2012 for around £3 million and just couldn't get going like a car without an engine. He only made 9 appearances for the club and couldn't dislodge Pablo Zabaleta or even the injury-prone Micah Richards from the side. He just struggled to adapt to the English game, and consistent injuries throughout the season did not help. He fell out of favour with Roberto Mancini, and when Manuel Pellegrini came in as the new boss, he dropped him from the club's pre-season tour of South Africa and was told he would not be a part of their upcoming plans before being sold to Roma on a free that summer. The man who won 4 Serie A titles and was part of the Inter Milan treble-winning side under Jose Mourinho just couldn't find a way into the team, and it's a shame that we didn't get to witness him at his best during a short stint in the Premier League. And that's our list. If you are new around here, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. And are there any players that we have missed here at Good Sport Reviews? Leave them in the comments down below. Let us know who they are and why they should be on this list. And make sure to hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.